Hello everyone, my name is Ajwa, your forum creator. I talk about diabetes. Diabetes, I would call it kind of a gospel. It's becoming gospel now because I don't spend a day without sending an article or an information on the platform for diabetes. Yeah, essentially the key thing here is for you to know what it is, how can it be prevented, and if you already have it, that's not the end of the world. We do have solutions for your situation, especially those with type 2 and type 3 diabetic patients. So to summarize it, diabetes, there are various types. So I will just touch the three basic ones, which we call type 1, type 2, and type 3. So type 1, we'll discuss it in another video. So we go with just the type 2 here. And with type 2, we will focus on diet. That is what you have to eat. Remember, I always make that statement, you are what you eat. So if you want to eat poorly or irresponsibly, you pay the price. So to avoid such situation, I'm here for that. And I quite remember some days ago, I did send on the platform a chart, or call it a PDF document for you to use. Actually, it's meant for you to print it and keep it in your wallet or keep it in your car, wherever you go, you take it alongside with you. You might want to go in a restaurant. Why not? You can go to a restaurant as well. The key thing is just to get this chart in front of you, and it will guide you how to manage your taste, what to eat and what not to eat, or which one to moderate your eating. So there are actually three classes in that PDF document. We call them the red food, meaning that you don't have to touch it. Even you seeing it can put you in trouble. The next class is the orange. The orange one means you consume it in moderation. And the last class is green. The green one is okay, it's even perfect, because it has a lot to do with your arteries and all the other organs of the body. So I will encourage more green than the orange or the red food. So having said that, vegetable should be your number one, and vegetable belongs to class green in that my table. Same thing also with drinks. So the drinks here, I will say pamplemousse or orange juice. Orange juice belongs to class green. I know some of my viewers will say, hey, but juice contains sugar. Why is it that you choose to place pamplemousse or orange juice in class green? I will tell you further as we move ahead. So glycemic load and glycemic index are the two key words here that we need to look at it properly, because if you go around shopping and eating without watching those two key words, you risk doing more harm to yourself. And that's why type 3, which is more of the pancreas, happens, because the more sugar, or call it food with high glycemic load and high glycemic index, create trouble to the pancreas, you develop what we call insulin resistance, which we don't want that to happen. So if you know which food have high glycemic load and high glycemic index, and you avoid them, you end up developing what we call insulin sensitivity, which is a good news. Because if you have insulin sensitivity, you don't need to worry about sugar spiking. Your sugar value will plummet. So that's what I'm here to preach. So glycemic load are essentially foods, drinks that have the ability to spike your blood sugar value. Full stop. I'm trying to summarize things for each and every one to be able to understand what's going on. So if you consume food and drinks that have low glycemic load, that's already a good thing for you. And then now you move to the next one, which is called glycemic index. So glycemic index is very important. So you need to monitor your food. For instance, if you are to consume honey, honey actually has a high glycemic index. Same thing for banana. Your banana has to be green, or call it in between green and yellow. The yellowish one, I would say, don't even get there. Overripe even makes it worse because your sugar value will definitely spike, which we don't want that to happen. So those are the key things which you have to know. Remember again, glycemic load, glycemic index, and then the taste. Palatability. Palatability here meaning that what tastes in your mouth bitter is great for you. For instance, the typical bitter leaf. I don't want to go into some scientific technical words, or else you will get lost in the whole thing. So we just call it that way: bitter leaf, or the bitter color, or the quinine, or the quinine, or the cinchona, which will have it back of trees in the West Province. We have a lot of cinchona there. That can also be used. They are juice, you find them in that form. So cinchona juice, or another one, it is the grape juice or the grapefruit juice. That one also is good in this case, because those juices that have the bitter taste are highly loaded with flavonoids. Those flavonoids are rich in what we call the tannic acid. So that tannic acid, at the level of the pancreas, they stimulate what we call signal pathways. Remember that we have millions of cells within the islet of Langerhans. The islet of Langerhans is part of the pancreas. So there are millions of those cells there, and those cells, they do communicate. So when there's that communication, that's when your blood sugar value drops. When there's that absence of communication, the sugar value spikes. So when you are taking juice like Fanta, you are not doing any good to yourself, because it is highly loaded with sugar. That is, the glycemic value is high, so it creates the hindrance for the cells to communicate among themselves. So we need to pay more attention on things that have bitter taste. So the bitter taste now helps to stimulate what we call signal pathways in cells. So when it's that signal pathways in cells, that's a great improvement. You won't suffer from anything like insulin resistance anymore. It will be the contrary, so that's already good news. Another key thing, it is green vegetable, or what we call legumes. Those ones are highly loaded with nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is wonderful. So the more green you eat, the better for you. So those of you who are fond of eating meat, I consider meat as dead food. It's not food meant for a living creature. Those are things that you just have to forget about it. Focus more on green. If you go green, you will go far. But if you choose to go with meat, I assure you, you have a lot of hassle down the road, because the arteries, they end up being clogged. So to avoid clogging, you need nitric oxide, and the nitric oxides come from green, like vegetable. Another key thing is also the way it tastes in your mouth. Also, it should be crunchy. When you eat anything crunchy, crunchy food are food that still have life. We call them lively food, not the one that are dead. You don't feel what you are eating. So that's my message to you people. You have to do that if you really want to move ahead. If you really want to kick back diabetes type 2. That's what you have to do. There's no other magic. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.